I read somewhere that Mwalimu means teacher in Kiswahili. And please be our teacher.
Prof, be our teacher. There you got it from Aldrin, and we concur.
Thank you.
Over to you, Prof. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Let me first start by thanking the organizers of this forum to appreciate a man who stands tall among the pantheon of great African leaders, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. When history is written, it will be remembered of him that he sacrificed all for the liberation of the continent of Africa. But he will not only be remembered for who at critical times in the history, not only of his country, Tanzania, but in the history of the continent of Africa, he never hesitated to sacrifice what needed to be sacrificed. I remember so very fondly the speech that he gave on the 25th day of May, the year 1963, in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. He spoke before Kwame Nkrumah and said, we have come here not to remind ourselves of how useful unity is, but we have come here to underscore the fact that unity is at the very heart of the African continent. He was to repeat the same statement again in the month of March, 1997 in Accra, Ghana, when he recognized that Africa can only thrive on the basis of unity. Mwalimu said, the beauty of our continent is that despite our attempts to live in disunity, when we leave the continent, people do not recognize our Tanzanianness, our South Africanness, or our Ugandanness. They only recognize our Africanness. It is therefore incumbent upon us to do what we must to forge unity, because it is only in unity that we'll unlock the dividends of economic progress. It is only in unity that we'll unlock the dividends of political stability. It is only in unity that we'll achieve social cohesion. You are therefore gathered today to talk about a man, to remember a man Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. He was a great educator, that's why they call him Mwalimu. He was a great orator, that is why they call him Mwalimu. He was a great believer in human society, that is why he believed in egalitarianism through his policy of Wijama. He was a brave man, that is why he confronted the apartheid regime. He was a brave man, that is why he confronted the regime of Ian Smith. He was a brave man, that is why he confronted the Portuguese in Angola and in Mozambique. He was a brave man. That is why Dar es Salaam became the political mecca, if you may, of all freedom fighters. Ask today who was not in Dar es Salaam. If it was not Sam Nujoma from Namibia, it was Samora Moises Machel of Mozambique. If it was not Samora Moises Machel, it was Eduardo Mondlane. And if it was not Mondlane, it was Oliver Tambo. And if it was not Tambo, it was Agostino Neto of Angola. That is a brave man that we celebrate today. He was a man who believed in African domination of African affairs. And that is why through the spirit of which Amai said, we must embrace development that allows us to have dignity. He believed in the dignity of the African man and woman. He was also a scholar. And that is why his ideas went beyond Tanzania. And many of you who know Kiswahili will know that he translated William Shakespeare's The Merchant of Venice into Mabepari wa Venice in Kiswahili. You'll also know that he translated William Shakespeare's Julius Caesar into Julius Caesari. And he believed in African unity. That is why when he was the president of Tanzania, He forged the union between Tanganyika and Zanzibar to create Tanzania. But he did not stop there. Even much earlier, he was prepared to delay the independence of Tanganyika so that Tanganyika, Uganda, and Kenya could become independent as one country. They listened to him not. But when Tanzania regained independence, he was one of the midwives of the East African community, which remained one of the greatest symbols of Africans' attempt at unity. Of course, those attempts were torpedoed by Idi Amin of Uganda, but Mwalimu never allowed that to dissuade him from recognizing the unity of the African continent. If you read history properly, you will see some of the great works that he did, some of the Africans that he collaborated with. If he was not collaborating with Patrice Emery Lumumba in the Democratic Republic of Congo, he was with Modibo Keita in Mali. And if not Modibo, he was with Diosagie for Kwame Nkrumah. And if not with Nkrumah, with Obote in Uganda. And if not with Obote, with Kenneth David Kaunda in Zambia. And if not with Kenneth David Kaunda in Zambia, with Sam Nujoma. And if not with those, with Gamal Abdel Nasser in Egypt and Ahmed Ben Bella in Algeria. He was a great man. Today, you are gathered, therefore, to celebrate an African icon, and I dare say a man who stands tall in the world. And that is why even when he was confronted with certain realities, he never kowtowed to foreign powers. And when it was time to leave, he recognized that no matter how good a dancer you are, you must leave the floor. He recognized that if a bird perches too long on a tree, it invites stones. And that is why he indeed left power even when he was being persuaded that he should be a life president. And we have seen how Tanzania, through his midwifery, one of the only African country that has killed the auger of ethnicity, 136 plus ethnicities. But when you go to Tanzania, they think of themselves not as any different people. They celebrate their diversity simply because it is a cultural mosaic. Mwalimu Julius Nyerere was a unifier. And he did not stop there. He also molded leaders. If you go to Tanzania today and you see the leadership and the progression, if you ask who midwife this, they'll tell you the midwifery of Julius Nyerere. That's why we had Ali Hassan Mwinyi handing over power to Benjamin William Mkapa, Benjamin William Mkapa handing over to Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete handing over to John Joseph John Magufuli. And I have no doubt that even on the 28th of October, Tanzanians will elect a leader and they will have a peaceful handover of power. Mwalimu Kambarage was also a peacemaker. He was a peacemaker who was present in Burundi. He was present in the entire Southern African region making peace. He was present in the Democratic Republic of Congo when they assassinated Patrice Emery Lumumba. He was present everywhere. I can say many things about the great Mwalimu, but a man who has done great things that not need to be spoken for. His actions speak for himself. You are doing a good thing. The good thing that you are doing is that you are recognizing the immortality of Julius Nyerere. And as it would be said in English, Julius Nyerere is dead. Long live Julius Nyerere. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Prof. And when
Prof,
you started with your keynote address, you said,
Prof live forever. Prof
live forever.
Thank you.
Prof live forever. Prof, you underscored something which I think is very, very important. When they gathered, they said, we are not here to remind ourselves, but we are here to underscore. And that speaks to the pragmatism that is actually required in leadership, and really get over the rhetoric of it. And for that, Prof, we really, really appreciate your time. and everything. I'll hand over to my fellow moderator, Aldrin. Over to you.
Thank you very much and have a good session.
Thank you so much, Prof. Really appreciate that you can make time for us while traveling. Technology is beautiful, right, Prof?
It's beautiful. The fourth industrial revolution, we are reaping the dividends.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. And also underscoring what he spoke about, he speaks about knowing when to leave the floor. And also, as we speak about a language like Kiswahili, for instance, is, you know, you celebrate your diversity, but noting, of course, that you are a mosaic. And a mosaic is beautiful with all its different colors and all its different shapes, but it also has a purpose. And a purpose that all of these things that are put together are then serving.